You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
That's hot intro music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live this week. It is the first week of March.
Oh my gosh.
We celebrated Black History Month. It came and it went.
It came and it went.
It came and it went.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
We're almost a whole quarter in.
I know, right? But we do have an exciting show today with topics including Chris Brown is allegedly a baby's daddy.
Wow.
Malik Yoba
Right.
allegedly outs his Empire Co-Star. And the cop that shot Michael Brown will not face civil rights charges. But I want to introduce my beautiful panel of an assortment of people here, starting off with Courtney, Stewart,
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello.
DJ Jesse J.
In the building.
In the building. And our very special guest today, he is known as the fitness minister. Jay Jones is in the house.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, man.
Man, thank you for having me, good sir. This is a blessing, really.
I like that you're known as the minister. Like, that's a serious title when it comes to fitness. Like, I'm almost nervous to be sitting next to you. I feel like I should do some squats or push-ups or something.
I'm like, oh, I'm not.
I know, I'm like, I went and worked out and everything, but...
Well, don't be intimidated. The mantra of our business is inspiration, not intimidation. Because, you know, when most folks get hit or wind of anything fitness-related, it automatically makes you begin to think about sweating, getting uncomfortable, soreness the next day. But, you know, what we look at is it's just really physical praise and worship, you know. Your greatest gift from your creator is your health and wellness. It's
very true, amen to that.
So Jay gonna deliver it to us today.
Hey, we're going to do a little something, share a little light.
A little light.
Well, we had a buzz meter question last week, which you guys picked the answer. It was a multiple choice question this time.
Wait, Derrial, before you say this, I want to give a thanks to our viewers because every week I feel like I just have been around manipulative people lately, but every week I ask you guys to not, look up the answers, and you clearly don't because y'all got this shit wrong. So I just want to thank y'all for
doing your best. Use your own brain.
That's right. They made an effort to pick the right answer. That's all we want. All right, so the question was the 15th Amendment, which granted African Americans the right to vote, was passed on which date? We gave you 4 multiple choice, which was actually 3 multiple choice. A, February 3rd, 1870. 28% of you voted for that. B, July 14th, 1889. 53% of you voted for that. I think I was in that 53% actually. And C, November 19th, 1910, and 19% voted for that. What's the correct answer, Jesse?
February 3rd,
That would be 1870.
Meaning I was wrong.
Oh, you were wrong, Derrial. Did you not take your American history class?
I mean, it's been a while,
I'm gonna need you to know.
Yeah, but that's the importance of Black History Month.
That's right. This is why we have this, so we all know. And now I'm going to remember.
By
Now I'm going to
1889,
remember.
Reconstruction was long over. It
Talk
did
to
not
'em.
last very long.
Talk to 'em.
It only lasted a few years, and had it lasted longer, we might have been a little better off.
And not only that, but all the advantages and all the things that we gained during
Reconstruction
were completely repealed
by Jim Crow.
There you go. That's right, Courtney. Good. That's right, my dear
Read a book,
sister.
y'all. I will suggest a book just because we're talking about this. Check out this book called Capital Men. I think the author's name is Philip Dre. It's a really great book about the first group of senators and government officials that were Black Americans that were trying to sort of come up during Reconstruction, that were actually becoming governors of cities and going to Washington and dealing with all of this. Yeah, it was senators and representatives and whatnot, and it covers a bunch of them that sort of came up during that time and how it all went left.
What's it called?
It's called Capital Men.
Capital Man. Go check that
Very
out.
good. Absolutely. Good
Look
piece.
at that, Courtney.
Courtney dropping that knowledge.
It's a relevant book to that topic, so check
pick
that
it up.
out.
And of course, this topic is relevant to today's
Still
topic.
relevant
It's just
today.
Very
about
true.
everything.
Still relevant today.
That's right.
Very true. All right, our buzz meter question for today is, do you believe being gay is a choice? That's a yes or no answer. We're going to get into that topic a little bit later because of something that was in the news this week. But first up, we're going to start with the trending topics with DJ Jesse J with your popular shirt backwards
So it's like
and upside down.
Upside down
Wrap
back. I didn't even know what I was wearing. All right. So
he got clothes on though. That's what's
That's all that's important.
He ain't
I'm
naked.
focused on my hair right now. All right, so April Simpson, she is a correspondent over at Fox, or was a correspondent over at Fox. this clip went viral this week in which her colleague Tim Ezel calls her the Hamburglar. Really random. She like got caught on stage. She looks over the side of him like, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, I got you. Okay. And then she kind of went back to the camera. And so it was just a little like moment that was caught. And Kevin Hart thought it was hilarious and tweeted it out, and it got millions and millions of views. Wow. This girl doesn't even work for the station anymore. She hasn't for a while. She's actually she left to become a pastor.
Interesting.
So she thinks it's funny. She's intrigued by that it went viral. So
wow, interesting.
Just catching everything by storm.
Catching random things.
That's it.
They go viral.
And they go viral.
Well,
I mean, it was that funny. Her reaction.
Her reaction was
just
funny.
The fact that she looked over like, the fuck you calling me?
Yeah.
You never seen someone in stripes like this, bro?
But here, let's get to the real thing. The real thing is the power of Kevin Hart's tweets.
Yes.
That's the real thing right there.
Because, he just put some wind underneath the wings of this little relatively minute story, and it just took off into another dimension. So that lets you know this. This Twitter sphere is serious, man.
Serious.
It's real.
The power of celebrity.
Yeah, man.
It can make or break a career.
Man, even something as minute as the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
The Hamburglar.
From minute to major, because Twitter and social media has blown this next story out
Yes, it has.
Wow.
Allegedly, because
He ain't
on
denying
The
it.
Beat, here at Black Hollywood Live, Chris Brown's fans get very upset if you misquote Chris Brown.
Yes.
So allegedly,
Right.
Chris Brown might have a child. Rumor has it the child's name is Royalty.
Okay.
Chris has not come out and said
Confirmed
anything.
it.
We don't know now. Allegedly, there was DNA test done, and allegedly Chris is the father.
Okay. Interesting.
And allegedly is put before everything.
Just to cover your
pretty
base.
much
Just
was,
you're doing the right thing,
You're
baby.
doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing,
I mean, I'm just saying, even in all these other articles. And then all these other articles are like, we have an exclusive.
Yeah.
But of course.
And they don't ever name who this person is or who these people are. But like, some of them, one guy was like, Chris know what he doing. Like, he gonna be a good pop. You know what I mean? He gonna represent his kid. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even like that. Like,
It's crazy.
Who are we quoting?
And that's sad because, we are all products of our environment, man. You know what I'm saying? Our environment dictates our value system, and our value system creates our behaviors. Yeah. So, when we're around people and around, especially celebrity, and I'm sure in a show like this, you constantly get an opportunity to talk to celebrity, try to get inside their world and their thinking and their process. It's like we just talked about with the Twitter sphere. The power of these celebrities is intoxicating, man. We don't really understand. So, I'm sure Chris Brown is at a very, precarious point in his life right now that this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Fatherhood and bringing a new life into the world is a very big deal. And to have it played out in front of everybody with this allegedly and that, we don't even know about the young lady who's involved.
We know about her.
We know a little bit about
Okay,
her.
I'm not going to see here's the
some
thing.
more alleged stuff.
No. She's not allegedly. She out there. But I don't want to bring up her name because here's my thing. I just feel like, one, I don't care.
Right.
Two, there's so many literally, allegedly, rumor is.
Right.
Chris hasn't spoke on it. So for me to see, I don't want to put this girl out there because I know how his fans are.
That's right.
You know what I mean? This girl has a baby, whether it's Chris's or not. No one needs to be hitting this girl up, being like, "Bitch."
For sure, you know how it is, how vicious the thing can turn.
It can be vicious.
So-
and there's a beautiful baby there.
Rumor has it is that Chris knew about the child. This is one story, is that Chris might have known about the child, and he's upset that it got out there because he wanted to break it on his own.
Okay.
He wanted to be able to carry this
that's
story.
fair.
Which is
absolutely.
That's fair.
Well, it
But
ain't
the
fair
baby
to
now knows
Carucci because Carucci went on to Twitter and she wrote this little paragraph talking about sometimes enough is enough. I'm done with this. No
Well,
baby drama for me. I hope so, girl.
Praise the Lord, honey. You finally figured it out.
So this is the young lady who's supposed to be the mother of the child.
Well, no,
Oh, no,
that's
this
his
is the
girlfriend.
ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Carucci.
Who's been on and off with him since Rihanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other girl, the baby mama, has been kind of quiet.
Which I appreciate,
Yeah.
by the way.
Which is mature.
And
Yes,
she's older than
very
him because
mature.
Chris is
Yeah.
25 and
She's
she's
like
31.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's doing an usher.
So it'll be interesting to see, when these allegedlys get dropped from the media and we can find out if that
really
DNA test was real.
Right.
If this girl's just trying to get something. But the other thing is the girl and Carucci have hung out before with Chris. So she's a friend.
Wow.
Of them.
But then he went to Twitter too because he got upset because of all the social media comments that were being made about him not making a statement. And did you see the comment that he put on Twitter about that? He said, I'll read it. And I don't know if I got my best Chris Brown voice. How about y'all kiss my ass, man? Post what you effing want. I want to say this. I want...
That's good. Keep going,
Take a deep breath.
Let me take a deep breath. Yeah, it's like reading text. Like, I wrote it too fast. All right. No, I'm going to read it in my words. All right. How about y'all kiss my ass? I'm going to post what the F I want, say what I want, when I want. I don't owe nobody. You nosy MFs a damn thing. This fruits. # 500.
Okay.
This fruits?
Yeah, this fruits #500. I don't know what that means. But
I don't know that slang.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping at first when I saw the story, I was like, oh God, he got a baby. This is not great. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's another turning point. Like, babies change a lot of people.
That's right.
They don't change everybody. Sometimes it's bad situation stays bad, whatever. But maybe it would change his attitude, his energy, his vibe. Like,
and especially it's a girl.
It's a girl.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So
that's
right.
I hope, that tweet I didn't know about that. It kind of,
it frightens me to see how cavalier we take such major responsibilities in today's society. And when we talked about environment, these celebrities, again, hold such a real prominent position in the lives of their fans. Like you said, the fans get ravenous. It's almost like a religion thing when you worship Chris Brown or you worship Beyonce. So when you get these people who act this immature and irresponsible, it gives these young folks who are looking at these celebrities, it almost gives them permission to be just as cavalier and irresponsible when it comes to their lives. It's even something as major as children.
Yes.
That next generation who's being taught by this generation. So it's hopefully, Courtney, like you said, this will begin to somebody will appeal to this young man and get to his, the king, not the kid in him.
Amen.
I like that. Get to the king and not the kid. I think I might take that and make a t-shirt. Let me write that down. Just let me use that pen when you get done. So I can write it down. So I don't mess it up.
Write that down.
No, but I agree because we've talked about Chris many times on the show. And my problem is, I think it is the youngness, but it's like, when people say stuff, if it's not true or if it's pissing you off and it's on Twitter, don't go on Twitter fighting about it. Just be silent. You know what I'm saying? Just be silent. That's the best form of a weapon right there. Just to stay silent.
But didn't we just
then
a
you're
few
feeding into
months
everything.
ago, Carucci came out talking about everyone's all up in my business. Get out of my business, bitch. If you're posting it on Twitter,
right,
you are giving it to the world to say, hey.
Public
talk
domain.
about it.
That's right.
Talk about me.
That's right.
Now with Chris, it's like, okay, this girl came out and it leaked that there was a baby involved. It's not like Chris is out here making a statement. Hey guys, I'm having a child.
Right.
With Carucci, it's like, girl, at this point now, I'm just concerned why this media frenzy. It's like whenever you get mad at Chris, you go onto Twitter and then he responds in some angry way to all the people who are backlashing, and it creates this funnel of negativity. So you know what? Hopefully she is done, and this whole situation gonna be done, and Chris can move forward. Carucci can
move on.
Right. Let's hope and pray.
So, no, I'm moving on though. I want to move on to this next topic. AfterBuzz TV, y'all. Whatever your favorite TV show is, make sure you join our sister website, AfterBuzzTV.com. We cover every and any TV show you could possibly think about. As soon as the show's done, head over to AfterBuzzTV.com, and we will be talking about it.
Thank you, Jussie. All right, moving on to gossip with Courtney Stewart.
All right. Well, it's that kind of more gossip, I guess, because you had a lot of gossip this week. But more Twitterverse eruption because of another potential coupling happened this week, and it was Rihanna and Leonardo DiCaprio. So this little picture surfaced of them being real close, not really close, but like whatever. That's the picture that everybody
blew my mind that this was the picture.
This is the picture that was supposed to be confirming that Leo and Rihanna were an item, and it was all over the place.
Smoking
Twitter,
blunts.
so all of it. And it was her birthday party, so they were saying that he was there to support his new boo.
No, he had the party for
He
Rihanna
had
at his house.
That's technically
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly.
Another
but
allegedly.
then there's another alleged that like she just knew his house and like it was a
Went
rented
to
like whatever. Anyway, picture surfaced. Everybody and their mama was talking about, oh, they together, praise the Lord. Oh my God, people were excited. Some people were angry as hell. Like whatever, it went crazy. It got so crazy that apparently Leonardo's people have decided they need to speak on this rumor, and some people were upset about what they said, but the statement
I didn't hear that.
that was released was as followed. Leo and Rihanna are just friends. Leo is and has been single for some time. That is all. And
That's
to
it?
prove the point,
FBs.
he went to a party like 2 nights ago, I guess, and was hanging up on a new model because we all know he loves a model.
Yes, he
and
does love
apparently
that.
took the model to a bedroom and left the door open so that everybody could see that he was with a model.
Wait a minute. What?
Rumor has it.
He took a model.
He was
into
at a
bedroom?
party. They went to a bedroom. He was spotted with this other chick. And they went, okay, here's the quote from page 6.
All right.
They went into this bedroom and sat on the bed and left the door open. Everybody was craning their neck to see. They were just lying in the bed. No one saw anything, but they did leave hand in hand.
Okay, Leo, you watch too many of your movies.
That's real Titanic dramatic
This
right
is-
there.
I thought it was Romeo and Juliet.
like,
Right.
insane. Like everybody's got to
You're
talk
so
about this.
right. You know,
It's everywhere.
It's so like we have a void of legit. Do you know what's
Yes.
going on in the world? But
No.
I don't even know what's going on in my life.
Yes, you know, and this is why, because we get so consumed by the propaganda
Yeah.
machine
Absolutely.
that keeps you distracted from what's important in your life. You know, as a fitness minister, we see it all the time. You know, people who will forego a workout to empower their bodies because their show is on. You know, it's so sincere and serious that these people are literally killing themselves slowly to be consumed by something. You think Rihanna and this guy Leonardo DiCaprio cares anything about what's
at
going
all.
on in your personal life?
They
Not
just
at all.
You know what
having
I'm
fun.
saying?
Not
They're
at
just
all.
kicking it. And,
Yeah.
you know, the machine spins such wonderful weaves and stories, you know, to keep us interested. You know, don't think that wasn't a PR strategy. To,
Yeah.
okay, this you're going to do. Go and get the model.
Right,
Leave
exactly.
the door open.
Right.
So
Yeah.
get up on her so then you can kind of throw a little fire on, throw some water on this fire that's starting to raise up. And I mean, you know, next thing Rihanna's going to be doing something to sort of quell it, doing it from her camp. So, you know, it's just.
I
it's such
decided
distractions.
that the reason that this is as irritated as I was at first, I had an epiphany.
Yes.
And I decided that what's really going on is that this is our culture's new method of creating folklore. It's on social media.
Yeah.
Like, because think about it.
That's a
like,
good point. I
That's
mean-
how, and that's what's entertaining us. That's how we disseminate information to each other,
That's
like
correct.
certain truths. And so I decided that it's just this epiphanous, like, wonderful thing that it's
like
folklore.
Aesop
And that's
fables.
exactly, it's Aesop fables.
You know what? And you know, that is so cool, but it's like reality TV. Most people believe that reality
Yeah,
TV
that's
is
scary.
real.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that most people believe, my wife and I were talking just a few minutes ago about Facebook because we know someone who is the complete antithesis of their Facebook posts. But if you would just simply look at Facebook and see them posting in church or posting, walking their children to school, you would think they're diligent parents and faithful, you know, people. But then in the reality, if you know them personally, you know that it's the complete opposite.
We're creating bipolar disorder for people.
Is what we are. But I
Multiple
like what Courtney said.
personalities, excuse me.
If we look at it like folklore,
Yeah.
and if we detach ourselves from it like, oh, this isn't real. This is
No.
just something that we're creating for entertainment's sake.
Yes.
I think we could handle it and it could be a lot more palatable as opposed to being so distracting and like, oh my God, this is, you know, I mean, I just don't know. It's just a vortex. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
unfortunately, you know, kids, they see it as real. You know, that's why we're having.
You're right,
that's
Derek.
why we see reality TV with all the fights of women and pulling stuff, and then people are emulating
not
a lot of
just
stuff.
kids, though.
I mean, you're right. Actually, the funny thing is, I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day. Most people who are acting crazy on TV are probably like 30, 40 plus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
It's not even like the youngsters that are acting crazy. So, but that's still setting the
There's
tone.
some young.
Some young,
Loving
but
hip-hop.
they're setting the tone for the loving hip hops and everybody else who's
Without
coming up.
question.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who think that this stuff is real. You know, who don't live in LA, who don't live in New York, who live in these small cities, or not even just a small city. Just this is what they think is life really is. You know,
Right.
it's
And
scary.
it's like, open up your eyes, because it's even on a bigger level of that. Today, I was on Instagram or Facebook, one of them, and this post came up and said, it's funny, Ebola came, And where is it? No one cares.
That's
right.
But everything in the news does.
What do you think they were trying to hide?
Yeah.
Everything does. I mean,
that's a life or death situation. I mean, it was fucking people were buying fucking contamination suits.
I mean, but you look at it like this. We get so caught up because when people say stuff like the Illuminati's out there and there's a lot of stuff in a very and I'm not knocking what people believe, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a right to believe, but my take is there's not just a secret society of super rich white dudes sitting in an office directing the world, but Walmart is got some awesome dudes in the office that's directing situations that's going on in your community right now.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Or you got Target that's coming and creating a Illuminati-like situation for all the small businesses in your community. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So we look at the big picture and we fail to see what's happening in our own backyards.
That's very true.
And it's not by accident.
Nope.
No, nothing's by accident. It never has been.
That's right.
Never has been.
The machine is bigger than you think.
Oh yes.
It is. And it's everywhere.
Indeed.
And it all comes down to money too. At the end of the day.
All the
The
time.
root of the evil.
Well, I don't know if this came down to money or the root of evil, but somebody done said something that they weren't supposed to say.
Somebody done did something wrong.
Somebody did something up in here.
All right, so if you're out there, you probably know there's a show called Empire on Fox. It's doing pretty darn well.
It's
doing pretty great. And there's a few characters on there. One of them happens to be a guy by the name of Jussie Smollett, and he plays a homosexual guy on the show who's having a difficult time dealing with his father. And everybody wants to know if in real life Jussie Smollett is gay and is he just playing it. Like, I don't even know why people care, but they care. So he had previously gone on Sway in the Morning and made it clear that he's not going to address whether or not he's gay because that's irrelevant.
Good for him.
He doesn't want it to be about that. It's about the show and what's going on the show. That's it.
Excellent.
Well, he apparently forgot to share that information with his co-star Malik Yoba. So Malik Yoba was doing himself a little interview at blackfilm.com, and he said the following quote: "I think that our show represents a huge opportunity to stay in the culture beyond entertainment value, and there's an intrinsic nature if you have the gay factor." So obviously, Lee Daniels, the show's creator, is gay. That was an important storyline for him. I think it's important for people to see themselves, even within the black community. But if you aren't really, really taking it off screen and making it live in the community in a significant way, like I know Jussie, he is gay. And he's very committed to issues around the LGBT community. He and I have a very close relationship. So he made this comment, they printed it, then Twitter dragged him for filth for days.
Wow.
And since then, he came back and made another statement to the USA Today saying, quote, "I was misquoted in that article. My reference to Jussie was only about his character and storyline on Empire."
Backtrack.
So, I mean, I looked through the quote a few times to see, they might have took something out or changed it around. It kind of don't quite make sense that he was referring to the character, but maybe the words that they took out.
Yeah.
There is
You're
an
saying
ellipsis.
it's misquoted. So.
There is an ellipsis in there.
I just thought everyone knew he really, because before the show came out, I was under the impression he was gay. He'd be in the gay clubs out here in LA.
Right.
Was just in them with Lee Daniels right in WeHo.
That's right.
A couple weeks ago, last Sunday.
So
I just feel like his friend was having an honest conversation to where he wouldn't get mad at him saying something like that because he hasn't been come on.
But if he hasn't made it public to people, I mean, it's one thing to this goes back to kind of my point of what I was saying before. You live in LA, you live in this world. There's lots of people who don't live in this world who he may not want that information exposed yet. And that's his prerogative to or to not have that exposed. So if it was a misquote or an accidental slip up or whatever, it is Jesse's right to not say anything until he feels it's time for him to say something.
It's his right, but does that mean if he's not told, he didn't, because he's not living in secret, because if he's openly going to clubs or whatever, he's not living in secret.
That's a good point.
So if that is the case and somebody's talking he was with Boo Boo last night. Oh, okay, you're not gay? I'm sorry? I don't understand the anger. There was so much anger towards Malik Yoba about it.
There was.
And I mean, I don't get it, because if you're with someone and you know them and you're just discussing them and discussing their work in the community,
that's what I'm saying. He's talking about the work that he's putting into the community.
Yeah, he's
so it's
positively bigging him up. Was it the lesbian by gay community that was really doing.
Twitter.
It was Black Twitter. It was a lot of the LGBT community though saying that it's not Malik's right to do, but I don't think it came from a place of him like
of malicious.
Right, it wasn't malicious.
Advertising, and he's not secret. He's not in the closet.
But Jussie has not publicly stated that he is gay,
Okay.
and he has not, and he hasn't made a statement since then.
Jussie has done in the past, or you know what I mean, to where it could be. That'd be like me, like okay, all of a sudden I get put on a TV show, and I'm like, okay, well now I don't want anyone to know.
Certainly.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're out there like, yeah, Jussie's my homeboy, like,
right.
sucking up dick the other day. You know?
Right.
I might be like, fuck Derrial.
All right, Jussie. Jussie has spoken today again. If you weren't woke before, you are awakened
Wake
now.
up, Black Hollywood.
I think people are so offended though, saying that he has to like come out, and he hasn't come out specifically and said I am gay. But I honestly, like, I don't know him. I'm just gonna make my prediction, my observation that his whole point in it is not to be like, I don't want anybody to know I'm gay. It's that I don't need to say I'm gay any more than anybody needs to say that they're straight. So I don't necessarily think that he was super offended by what Malik said. I think he's just sitting there like, I mean,
Right.
I just don't need to advertise
what it is,
and
certainly.
I don't need to release a statement to let y'all know that I'm gay.
Right.
I'm an actor playing a gay person, and if I'm gay, I'm gay.
Right. Man, this is interesting topic.
Yeah. Just wait till we get to the next one.
I know, these are the easy topics.
Yeah.
This is the gossip.
We didn't even get to hot topic.
We didn't get to the hot topic.
Good stuff is yet to come.
The good stuff is yet to come.
Yes.
Well, you know, I guess time will tell if he is or he is not. Or
does
is.
it really?
Does it really matter?
You know, but I like what Malik Yoba said about the gay and lesbian community as far as, you know, in order for a show like that, and Lee Daniels obviously has an agenda that he's pushing.
Yes, he
and
does.
this agenda will, without question, include, you know, that segment of the community. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, a lot of people feel like Hollywood has gone in that direction full out. You know what I'm saying? In order for something to be successful at all, it has to have that element in it. And you know, there's so many contradictions in the black community when it comes to gay and homosexuality and all of that. So, you know, this is something that will certainly play out in time, you know, but interesting.
Fascinating to watch. Full
All
show.
right. Well, what is also fascinating to watch is the rest of the Black Hollywood Live shows on iTunes, or listen to them as well. It's very good segue.
Very smooth
So
segue.
yes, thank you very much. So if you have any interest in an assortment of different shows, we have fashion, we have technology, we have sports, we have music, sex, relationships, everything. Courtney hosts Fashion 401, Jussie hosts The Beat, we all host Portraits together, Geek Nerd Tech. There's so many different shows that we have to fit what you love. Go to iTunes, give us a rating and comment. Let us know what you do and don't like. We like ratings of 5, but you know, if there's something that you don't like, let us know and we'll correct that. But continue to support us. You guys have been really great and give us a 555, right? Subliminal message, right? But you guys have been really great with giving us a lot of feedback and tweeting us and letting us know what you do like with our shows. In fact, I think we've even gone and changed a couple things with our format for this show. So please continue to do that, and we take note of that. All right, we're going to move on now to the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Here comes the spaceship.
Spotlight of the week.
Well, we're going to continue the gay conversation, except in a different form this time. There's always been a lot of debate on if you were born gay or not born gay, you know, if this is a learned behavior. A lot of people have different opinions about that, and one of the people who has a very strong opinion about it is Dr. Ben Carson. He's a former neurosurgeon and a potential 2016 Republican presidential candidate. He was on CNN this week, and he had this to say in reference to being gay.
Derrial
Song
clip of
from
the
my
week.
mouth.
We will play a clip in 2 seconds,
Get
and
some
we'll keep
duct tape
talking.
from my
We'll
mouth.
keep talking.
We'll keep talking. So
Derrial clip of the
basically,
week.
he was on CNN. He was asked about being
you
gay.
go.
Oh, and we have the clip.
Because people have no control over their race, for instance.
You think they have control over their sexuality?
Absolutely.
You think being gay is a choice?
Absolutely.
Why do you say that?
Because a lot of people who go into prison straight, and when they come out, they're gay. So did something happen while they were in there?
Most
Ask yourself
gay
that
people
question.
never go to prison,
Well,
and you know
but
there's a whole theory of
I said-
dominance.
wait a minute. I
you know.
said a lot of people who go in, come out. Are you denying that that's true?
I am
No,
not
you're not.
denying that that's true, but I am
Okay,
denying
but
that that's as a
if-
basis
He's a
of
bad
understanding
in fact-
homosexuality.
All right. So that is Dr. Ben Carson's explanation
We
on.
need to have Ben Carson.
Yeah, we need to have Ben. Ben, if you're watching or listening, please come on Black Hollywood Live. We want to talk about your debate here. But he went on to CNN, as we saw, and the topic came up, and he was very strong. Well, I don't even know if he was really strong about his opinion. He just stated something about going to prison, basically, and being one way when you go there and coming out a different way.
That's a very
That's crazy
awkward
as hell.
statement.
That's a
make.
very
That's
awkward
crazy
statement to
as
make.
hell.
Now,
I'm
he
sure we'll
has
talk
since apologized, and he said this: I realize that my choice of language does not reflect my heart on gay issues. I do not pretend to know how every individual came to their sexual orientation. I regret my words to express that concept were hurtful and diverse. For that, I apologize to all that were offended.
I don't even know how to take whatever he just said. Right
I mean, it's like, and here's my thing. This
so
is
you go
somebody.
to jail, you're gonna be gay.
And this is my thing. This is somebody who's running for the election, or allegedly running for the election in 2016 as a Republican, by the way.
Yeah, Ben Carson is such a lightning rod.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that he's saying right now is just, I think, really trying to create some sort of a Sarah Palin type buzz where this controversial stuff that he's saying is garnering him some pub and some time on the air. But this is ridiculous, man. I think, when we go in, obviously there's trauma in prison. You know, this is a trauma experience that when people come out, whether or not, something has happened or not, that doesn't qualify you as being gay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's like trying to say a woman who's been forcibly made to have sex enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying, or wanted it,
Very true.
And so, this dude is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I'm always going to try to give, because I always try to believe that smart people aren't entirely talking out of the left butt cheek. Like, because there has to be
I love that you used the word butt cheek.
something there.
Very appropriate.
So I've listened to it, and I'm trying to think, okay, well, maybe... Okay, so this is what I came up with.
Good quote. Let's hear it.
I know he goes on to say scientifically they haven't been able to figure out what the gay gene is.
Sure,
that's true. There's no
So
proof.
from a scientific perspective, as far as he is aware, there is nothing genetically that makes you gay. Okay, then that's fair enough, because as far as I'm aware, my reading, I don't know of any scientific study that has found the gay gene, so to speak.
I understand.
There's also a large amount of scientific work on sexuality as a spectrum, and that very few people are on each end of the spectrum. Like very few people are for real homosexual and for all the way heterosexual, which would sort of explain the sort of in between experimental, like people that
Absolutely.
from bi to bi-curious, whatever. So that also would be some evidence, and I would hope maybe that's what's going on in his brain, and that's what he was sort of going for. And I would say that I agree that the soundbite issue is to be controversial, so that he does pull off a Sarah Palin moment, and all the right wing can be like, yes, you don't believe in the gays. But then he kind of screwed that up with his apology, because if you're saying you actually believe in gay rights and you want,
then stick to your. That's what I'm saying. Stick to what you were saying and go all the way with it. Don't backtrack now.
Well, I think he was appealing, and we also don't know what portion and what was not there and that kind of thing. And he also went on to talk about what about rights, and they talked about marriage rights and things like that, and whether it belongs in the church and whatever. And I'm just a person that believes in America, whether you believe everybody has the right to be married in a church or not, we still believe in freedom of religion. So whether I agree with you or not, you should have the right to say, I only want this to happen in my church because that's what we built the country on. But the government doesn't have the right to do that. And he said he agrees with the government to give it right.
And then here's the thing, too. I'm not pulling a Malik Yoba. Jesse, I'm going to speak on this.
Are you gay?
Are you gay, Jesse? I don't want you to say that I'm Malik Yoba Jew on this week.
Give a statement. He has to give a statement.
Yeah, you have to give us a statement, and then before we can talk about it. Right.
Anyways, so I just feel it.
No, wait. Let me ask you a quick question before you even go to that. Did you feel like you were born gay? I mean, do you feel like
yes,
at what
100%.
age? What
like
age?
how you're talking about the spectrum, gay. Like, I don't want no pussy, I don't want no girl, I don't want to have sex with nobody. Like, and here's the thing, I understand the choice factor of it. Because I do go through and I sit there, I have this conversation, my mom probably watching this like, oh God. But the reality is like, for years, I've thought like, I'm friends with most females. If I wanted to be in a relationship with a female, my life would be amazing. I wouldn't have no stress in my life. I'd be married to my best friend. But there's a sense that wouldn't be fair for her in there, because I wouldn't be fully into that relationship the way that I need to be in that relationship, or that she would deserve to have somebody in that relationship. And I understand that, which is why I never messed around with girls or played those feelings out towards women, because I'm not going to be a person who understands themselves and going to act upon something because of what society is telling me. I know what I've wanted. I know what I want. It's been very consistent with me, and I've kept to myself for a lot. I had a lot of self-hate because of what people, put onto me and what I thought I had to be with myself. I didn't lose my virginity until I was almost 20 years old because I wanted to figure out who I was, what I wanted, and all of that. Now, what he's saying, I do want to watch the full clip because I do agree with him to an extent. Off of the fact that I think that there are people in this day and age who things happen to them at a certain age or at a difficult time in their life, and it can confuse them into thinking a certain way, which is where we get situations where people are in relationships and they end up cheating or doing something different or experimenting because they don't understand those emotions. I've always been in very complete control of my emotions and understanding them and wanting to figure it out before I act upon it. Well, and what I realized in this life is people aren't like that at all. A lot of people aren't. And so I think that's why we have this community where we're trying to create an acceptance for it. But we're not dealing with the issues of like, okay, well, yeah, maybe some guys do go to jail and things happen to them, and but also some guys go to jail and they come out better. Some guys go to jail and they come out worse, and they just want to go back into jail. Has nothing to do with
jail was a bad example, Ben.
Yeah, that was bad.
He took his credibility off the table.
Yeah.
I'm curious to deal with Jessica, because this is something that I've been curious about. We see the effemination of hip hop music, and we see a lot of the there are now gay rappers who are like becoming mainstream hip-hop rappers now. Do you think that perhaps because it's become so accepted, maybe some of those young men or women who may have been on the fence earlier, because of the environment has become a lot more conducive, do you think that perhaps has played a role in why we see such an uptick and such huge support when it comes to the gay and bi and lesbian community?
Yes, because of what I was speaking on earlier. I think that some people go through things during traumatic times in their lives. And so when they're going through that and they see, well, Lil Wayne can wear them tight pants and, he can kiss Birdman. It's like those things are all confusing messages when you're confused.
Right.
As a straight man, if you know what you want and you can look at Lil Wayne and respect him as a man and see these things and not take them as, well, maybe I could do that. You have to know yourself. And I feel like all of this happens is because there's no conversation. I respect people. I get into this fight a lot because for the longest time I didn't want to come out and, everyone's like, oh, if you say you're gay in Hollywood, like you're gonna be shunned. I'm like, well, then that's what it is. Like, I know what I am. I'm not gonna be pigeonholed into this box of feminine, masculine. I'm me 100% all the time. Sometimes I'm masculine, sometimes I'm feminine, sometimes I'm crazy, sometimes I act like a cartoon character. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but you're being yourself, so
life.
that's all that matters.
And that's just
and everybody has different sides to them too. So
that's right. And I just feel like we all need to be open with that discussion. And if you're comfortable with yourself, and to someone like Jussie, whatever his name is, I would like for you to be open and carry that dialogue, because I think that the reason things like that happen is because nobody is really talking about it. I didn't have anyone look up to. There was nobody on TV or nobody that I could really sit and relate and be like, you know what, that person would get my life. I could feel like I could talk to them. They did it. I never saw that for me. So I was in my mind like, I'm a weirdo, I'm fucked up, I'm this bad person, and I hated on myself for a really long time. And I think that that's where seeing these things in hip-hop and on the media, if someone is confused about themselves, whether sexually or just, don't feel good about themselves, but it could be caused off of playing sports.
That's right. That's right.
I think Alexis has something, or Alexis from the booth is...
Well, I wanted to bring up, according to Jesse's comment and opinion, is because I was in the same boat because I'm bisexual, and I was actually into women first before I found out that I was also into men. Because for me, it was strange because I always had an attraction to women ever since I was very young, and I never understood it. And then when I went to an actual co-ed junior high, I was also attracted to men. But I didn't have anyone else to talk to about it because I didn't know. I'm like, okay, wait, someone told me that this is how you're attracted to women, that's it. But that's not how I feel, and I didn't know who to talk to, and nobody was talking about it, and people shunned me, and it was such a confusing lifestyle, and I didn't really find my sexuality until I actually got into college, really. And after that, then I can actually be okay with myself and be open and, be part of the LGBT and everything like that. And I feel bad for a lot of people, especially people who are younger than me, who want to talk about these things, but they have no one to talk to. And then there's people like this that are like, oh, it's a choice. And they're like, well, I don't feel like I chose this. And it's so confusing. And I feel like we need a better place for someone or for discussion to be more open instead of just trying to hide it. Like actors do it, rappers do it. Everybody is trying to hide it. And I feel like we should all, as entertainers, because we're so looked up to be open more about it, but whether it's a choice or not.
The problem is, though, and I agree with what you're saying, Alexis, but the problem is that these people who are hiding it, like the rappers and entertainers, they're forced to, because our society forces them to do it, because if you come out, you may not get a job, you may not get album sales, because people still think like Mr. Ben Carson, unfortunately. So how does that? I think
it goes
it's
beyond
changing.
That, though. Because we live also in a society that the majority of how we sell almost everything is sex, and we sell it heterosexually.
Yep. That's right.
So, and that is not to say, I mean, as far as I'm aware, statistically, LBGT is the smaller percentage of the sexuality.
Right. Yeah.
So as a marketer, you're going to market to the mass number, which is hetero.
Right.
So if you're selling sex from, I'm like trying to think of somebody that sings right now, and I'm old and I don't know.
Nicki Minaj.
Like you can't, if you're, if Jussie, he just signed a contract or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's an artist. He wants to sell sex. The bottom line is, from a marketing perspective, who's going to buy that? It's women. And if women are thinking about you singing to a man, they don't want it, because you want to feel like that he's singing. So I respect his desire on a certain level to just be himself at home, because that's personal and that has nothing to do with anybody else.
Right.
But business is separate, and we all put on a face to do business.
Absolutely.
Whatever that face is, and we don't get to, I personally don't think we get to judge whether or not our face that we put on is the right face and an okay face, and his face is not okay. And if he's decided that he doesn't want to wear that face because he wants to be respected as just an artist and not because he's a gay artist, then that's his right.
And then but you look at, and from Jussie and Alexis's point, you see these people who are in this position, and you can almost juxtapose it to a black artist who, back in the day, who said, I don't want to be black, I can be light, like a Harry Belafonte versus a Sidney Poitier, and you have these color complexes. But then you have people in the community like, you're one of us. Embrace it. Don't sell out. Don't sell out for the money.
But see, I don't look at it like sell out, because I understand him. So my thing is, you don't want to do it, I'll do it. Because at this point, I don't give a fuck. I've said enough shit in my life. I've done enough shit. I've been beaten up how many times? But I'm gonna always keep getting back up. And my whole purpose in doing this, I was an accountant before this. Like, I didn't care about this. Yeah. But when people start reaching out to me and saying, thank you, because you're talking about something that nobody's talking about, that is what gives me the push to want to do it. It's not up to him. It's not up to anybody. You know what I mean? It's up to, it's something inside.
If the light is in you, exactly.
Boom, and that's what it is. But all of this is, I feel like, going to go away, the Hollywood and all that, because the reality is the internet. And if you look at a lot of these YouTube stars, a lot of them are openly gay, and a lot of them are talking about real topics that, and I'm seeing a lot of viewers being drawn to it because it's new information, it's interesting, and I think that it'll backfire on Hollywood to a certain extent.
This is a great debate and conversation. You guys should continue it also with us on Twitter and Instagram and on our website, and let us know what you guys are thinking about this topic. We're going to move on to our last subject, unfortunately, because we're running out of time, and I think that this is an important one that we also need to announce is we obviously have been following Ferguson for the last months and year even, just of what's been going on there. Well, as of this week, the killer of Michael Brown, Darren Wilson, was found, will not face criminal charges. It was found through the Department of Justice. The police department there was guilty of some racially charged practices, but Darren Wilson will not be charged with any criminal charges at all. So people are already protesting. They're in an uproar. Since then, Michael Brown's family is going after a civil suit. They are going against the city of Ferguson and the police, and Darren Wilson, the police officer. As you know, just to recap, the grand jury declined to indict him in November of last year. So this was like kind of the next step of people were hoping to get some type of justice from it. Unfortunately, it was not the case. Were you guys expecting him not to be charged with any criminal charges this time?
Yes. Yeah. I was not expecting them to be able to charge him. But I do appreciate that with the release of that whole report and the ridiculous statistics about what's going on in that city, I almost appreciate it more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yes.
not about Darren Wilson
Absolutely
specifically.
not.
Right.
And the
It's like
fact that they
105 pages of
it
just.
was
Yeah.
a mess.
Yeah. It was a
Like
hot mess.
it was so much of a mess. And I don't like to put it all like, white folks, please read this.
Right.
Like but
post
it
it on your
really felt
Facebook.
like I was just like, oh my gosh, can we finally admit to all of us, black, white, green, yellow,
Let's just
orange,
keep it real.
that something ain't right,
Right.
and we are screwing up, and Ferguson cannot possibly be
An isolated,
unique.
yes,
No,
it's not an
not at
isolated
all.
incident.
No.
You know, and Jesse said the best when we talk about the last topic. All of this ignorance stems from a lack of communication.
Yeah.
You know, the community couldn't communicate. Now, because I read the whole 104 or 5 pages, and on page 90, 91, they start talking about solutions.
Yes.
And one of the solutions that they're talking about is policing, community policing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that they had to do systemically. Because like you said, the police officer is just he's the scapegoat. He's a part of a much larger
problem.
problem.
It's a bigger thing.
Yeah, so I'm glad that took place.
Now, we're going to wrap up here, but I do have one statement. I feel like maybe there will be some type of justice in this civil suit because we have to go back and think about O.J. Simpson. I use him as an example. He obviously beat out the system, which I'm not saying he's guilty or not guilty,
O.J. is
but I'm just saying, whatever. But when the Browns went back and filed that civil lawsuit, they won that civil lawsuit.
Yes,
so,
they did.
so you know, there is still hope. So let's just put out those prayers that this gets resolved in some format. So we're going to move on to the end of the show now. Where can everybody find each other? Where are you, Mr. Jones,
I
on
am
Twitter?
on Twitter
Facebook?
at JJones, JayJonesINI, and on Instagram at The Fitness Minister.
And so if they want to sign up for your skills, that's where they can find
Oh,
you.
they can find me directly at JayJones Fitness, JayJonesFitness.com.
All right. Jussie, where can they find you?
DJ Jesse J.
Courtney?
At Stewart Starlet.
And remember to vote for the BuzzMeter question we had a pretty great conversation about today. Do you believe being gay is a choice, yes or no? We'll read those results next week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.